So we got the transmission up in the air, and he's just getting a nail on to pull the drain plug on it and drain the oil out of it. And then we're going to put it on that bench to tear it apart. Okay, guys, welcome to another shop update. This is going to be a continuation of the G56 transmission out of the 2011 Ram and the South Bend clutch, which kind of exploded. Well, the pilot bearing let go and took out the clutch on this. So this is a continuation of us getting into the transmission. Sorry. Ready? Yep. Yeah, do it the first part of it.
And that doesn't work.
Just, it's got a magnet on it.
I know.
It's like powdery shit, you know?
Yeah,
Basic.
it was before too. It was real bad before. It came out like a bug.
We'll see what it's caused from when we pull it apart. You know, we'll take a look at the gears. It's probably just normal gear grinding stuff because it is so fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't find any chunks in there. I'm gonna.
Well, that's not gonna work. We need to get different gear.
I got that longer ratchet. Do you want that longer ratchet?
That's okay. There's like nothing on it.
Yeah, there's supposed to be that ring, but what they did is
well, it's not a ring. It's that black Permatex stuff.
Yeah. Look, they got Permatex in the hole.
Well, that's probably why I couldn't get them out. You know. You got a light? Grab that light behind you.
Too.
Do you want to leave them out then?
No. You want to try removing that bolt?
Pretty long bolt.
Yeah.
I'm moving the inside stuff.
You keep doing that. Pick up on it, or do. Yeah.
It's pulling that.
Yeah, but I don't know how these things would come out. It has something to do with this.
Holy shit.
What?
Oops, sorry. They tapered that right down. Look at this. Hey! Oh, you don't even say hi to me?
Hi, Matt. I didn't see you. There's so many jugs there.
Look at that. It's actually tapered. A lot.
Yeah.
Look how thin this is. I can't believe it did that to that.
Huh.
Look at this. From that pilot bearing that I was telling you about? That
Yeah. You can remember what
well,
you
it'll
did?
be on YouTube too.
Huh?
YouTube.
You're on YouTube?
Look,
Really?
I'll send you a link to his video. Or to his channel.
All the way out?
Yeah, apparently.
Of course, you never know. It might not be on YouTube anymore. They have this political policy. I kind of lambasted them on the video I posted this morning.
Yeah,
Called it California. And the YouTube people think just exactly like that. They censor everything. If you say anything political,
Yeah.
especially about Biden, if you say anything about Biden, they'll pull you off of YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We ready to do this? That thing got good coverage on it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get this. You guys, no, you're gonna guide whatever's gonna fall out when I do this. You ready?
Yep. Oh, you got it. Straight up.
Look at that. What's rattling?
Those things.
Oh, parts of the clutch. Can I put it here for a second?
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, so the whole trick to taking this thing apart was standing it up on end, and we stood it up on end, and we're going to pull the input shaft off of it. So this is this is that input.
That feels so good.
Is it worn at all?
Yeah, there's room, but I don't know
No,
how tight the tolerance is supposed to be.
Up and down? Because they're brass.
But you gotta lift. Maybe like a thousandth there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we need some better way to lay this out. Cause you got like that one, which I've already screwed up. I don't know which way it was. Does it matter?
No. You mean which side is which?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
Are we gonna get new ones of these?
I don't know.
Well, cause if we don't, then it matters. Right?
No, because they flip over.
Yeah, but they've got wear marks based on where
Which
they were.
side? Yeah. But it shouldn't matter.
It does, because if we're not replacing them and we've had this one wearing on this plate or
Yeah.
that side and you flip it over, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's going to be better. More gooder. More gooder.
Okay, pull this.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Where do you want me to put it?
I want you, this is the part that you've got to count the teeth on that.
This?
Yeah. That's the input shaft. And the rest of it, we really don't have to take apart unless you think that we should be replacing something.
It said, so 26 or 27 were my options. One.
You got to have a point, starting
Yeah, I know.
point.
1, 2. Let me see your Sharpie. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, you counted that.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 28.
Was that?
I don't know. I thought it was 28 or 26 or 27. for now.
Yeah.
What's that plastic piece? This one's got like holes in it, see it?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you...
You really can't tell. I mean...
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the day after we tore that transmission apart, and one of the things that I was giving thought to was this oil residue in the bottom here. Now, I suspect it is that seal through the transmission where the input shaft goes. It probably, when that pilot bearing gave out, it probably, and let that shaft drop down, it probably took the seal out with it and caused the oil in the transmission to leak out into this housing. But so the other possibility could be that is the seal on the back of the engine. So let's go take a look underneath the truck, and you will see it as I see it. Okay, there's some oil residue there, but it doesn't look to me like it was coming out of the engine seal. We'll know for sure when we pull this flywheel off. But it doesn't look like it was coming out of the engine seal. It looks like, to me, the way it's scattered in there, it kind of looks to me like it was residue coming out of the transmission. But again, we'll see when we pull that flywheel off. Yeah, bring you back. So on a different note, for the International, I wanted to get a trickle charger. So in the winter time, when you plug the truck in, the block heater into for the truck, you could also plug this trickle charger in and it would keep the batteries up. It seems like those batteries, and they're probably going to be replaced, or it's not probable, they are going to be replaced, but I still want to keep this thing in there because it seems like batteries have a tendency of losing charge in the wintertime, or the cold cranking amps don't seem to be there in the wintertime. So let me, I'm going to take you out and show it to you. Originally I was going to get one that was designed to mount in a vehicle, so that I was going to put it in the battery box, but somebody made a suggestion that I could mount it up in the cab and just run grommets for the wires into the cab. So that's kind of what I did. That's why I got this one, Napa type charger. But let me take you out to the truck and I'll show it to you. Before we get out to the truck, what I did, this is the actual lead off of it, and it had these wire connectors on the end of it, but they're not big enough to fit over the threaded post of the batteries that are in the truck. So what I'm going to do is replace it with bigger wire connectors on it. So I just got that end in here. Going to be doing that. Here I am out behind the shop of the truck, and I just threw this in the battery box last night, but it is an enclosed type of unit, so I actually think I could put it in the battery box, but what I'm going to do is just put it inside of the truck somewhere, probably like underneath that rear type seat, or on the sidewall someplace back in there, maybe between the seat post and or attached to the front of the seat post, or maybe even on this bumper, I don't even know why that thing is there, just to maybe keep people from kicking the back of the seat if they're sitting back there, but maybe I'll just mount it on that. I'm not really sure yet, but then I'll just run some grommets. I still got to get the plug adapter like that one for the charger. I'm going to run a separate plug, and then I'll just have an extension cord with like dual heads on it so that I can plug them both in at the same time. But anyways, there's that. I'll bring you back as I'm doing it. So when I came out here, I just came out here to start it and to show you that stuff. But one of the things that you may have noticed, those electrical connections, I started out with the ground, trying to fit it on that. So I loosened the ground cable up off of the battery posts, and noticed that they were kind of corroded. So I took some sandpaper, cleaned them off, put a little bit of dielectric grease on, and I hadn't tightened them. I just put the bolt back down and forgot to tighten it. So I went to start it this morning, and it kicked over, but it wasn't really great. And I thought maybe the battery ran down. But as I got out of the truck, I checked that connection and noticed that I hadn't tightened it down, threw the charger on it just for not even 2 minutes, and came back in here, and that truck turned over the fastest I've ever seen it turn over. So maybe some of the issue with those batteries was the corrosion on the terminal. So as I'm doing this, I'm still going to put the charger in, but as I'm doing this, I'm going to also make sure that the terminals are all good, sand them off, clean them, put dielectric grease on it just to assure that it's still good. But again, I'll bring you back. Okay, so it's a couple days after Christmas, and as you can see from my truck, we've had some snow. Now I'll take you inside and explain to you before we take a walk out back and show you the International. I'm going to show you the haul truck as we're talking about where I live and snow and what we've been experiencing. I live in a little town. Well, it's not really that little. A town that's called Hamburg. And Hamburg is southwest of Buffalo. Now, we... in this area, beginning in Hamburg and stretching down south, we get what is called lake effect snow. And what happens is I live about 4 miles from the shoreline of Lake Erie, one of the Great Lakes, and we get what is termed lake effect snow because the westerly winds come across the lake, and the lake up around Buffalo kind of dog legs back up again. So the westerly winds that blow off of the lake come and hit southwest of Buffalo. That's where most of the lake effect snow comes from. Now, what I just showed you was my truck and snow piled up on it. We got approximately 24 inches of snow yesterday. Well, it actually started the night before, but yeah, basically yesterday. To some people that might seem like a lot of snow, but that's not a lot of snow for what we get. And again, we get a lot of snow, or used to get a lot of snow, and it's all lake effect. It's not like the northern plains area, like the Dakotas and that area where they just get snow. Ours is all based on the lake. What happens with it is a front will come across the lake and it'll pick up moisture off of the warmer water, and and bring it inland where the prevailing winds come across Hamburg, and south the Boston Hills, and dump it as snow. So again, we got like 2 feet of snow, but here we go with this gimbal again. Sorry guys, let me try and correct it. No, let me bring you back. Okay, we're back. So what happens is the gimbal will conk over when the batteries start getting low. So anyways, I was talking about the lake effect snow, and you probably, if you saw my last shop update where I kind of complained about the lack of plowing and stuff like that, that really, well, you're kind of at home for a while until you can shovel yourself out or get plowed out or whatever. By that time, usually the roads have been plowed. But anyways, we had the like 2 feet of snow, and that's not really a lot for us. And again, it's all lake effect snow. I've had up to 5 feet of snow in one day, living where I do live. But you become accustomed to it. But what happens is, because the climate is changing, and I'm not an advocate of climate change due to all of this stuff. I'm not like the people in California think that we've got to produce electric cars. What they haven't thought of is where the electricity is going to come from. Probably some of it has to be fossil fuel because of you can't. The wind doesn't blow all the time, and the sun doesn't shine all the time. So, anyways, I'm not a big advocate of that. I think weather patterns shift, and it's just a matter of Mother Nature shifting weather patterns, the way the Earth has always been. I've said this in other videos. I can take you from to a place probably 5 miles away from here. It's an old quarry, and there's a lot of fossils in it. A lot of these fossils are fossils that you would find in a tropical environment, like a tropical rainforest. But at the same time, that same quarry was buried under 400 or 500 feet of ice during the Ice Age, which wasn't really that long ago, 10, 15,000 years ago. So the Earth is always going through different climate, weather changes, and environmentalists like to say that it's all caused by us. It's not all caused by us. A lot of it is just Mother Nature acting like herself. But we got some snow, went through Christmas, and I've got some other things going on, so I really haven't been in the shop. So that's why the shop update is going to be posted a little later than it normally is on Sunday mornings. But I'm kind of showing you the haul truck because somebody asked me about it, and I'm going to bring you back and we'll go into an explanation of it. But I thought it would be kind of fun to open this back door and just see how much snow is on the International. Now again, I kind of told you that we live in an area where you get a lot of lake effect snow, and that lake effect snow can be very particular about what area it is. I can live at my house. I could have gotten 2 feet of snow. You may walk 4 or 5 blocks away and only have a foot of snow, or you could walk 4 or 5 blocks away and have 5 feet of snow. There's a fine line of how that fronts come across the lake and where the snow gets dumped and doesn't get dumped, or where it gets dumped in more areas. Again, I mentioned the Boston Hills because I kind of still live in that plateau area. Hamburg is just a little bit of rolling area. I probably live maybe 200 or 300 feet above the surface of the lake in elevation. The farther south you get, the more up in the hills that you get, the farther away from the lake that moisture that is being picked up off of the lake has more time to condense into snow, and you get a lot more snow in those areas. So it's very finicky about how it works. Yeah, and I'm not sure if the camera's getting blown out, but yeah. Now it's supposed to go up to 37 today, and it probably where it's been plowed, it'll melt it off because the sun will hit that black pavement and kind of melt it off. But I thought it would be just fun to show it to you. Okay, so I'm back over here to the back of the haul truck, and I've got a comment about when am I going to get back on this project and what's going on with it. Again, as you can see, there's a transmission casing and a transmission from the Ram, the 2011 Ram. It was Christmas time. We had tore it apart just before Christmas time. So he just texted me actually a little while ago and says that he's got the parts in a shopping cart, and he probably wants to come over and go over it for him, over them with me for it, before he orders them. Let's get back to the haul truck. So that being said about the Ram, the International is kind of the reason that I have pulled off of this for a little while to do some things. There's advantages of pulling off of it for a while to do things. Well, when I was into this issue, and I had put this air suspension system onto the back of the truck, I noticed that one of the arms is different from the other. The trailing arms of the air suspension. This is where the shock goes up to the frame, and this is where the airbag's set. I don't know whether you can see it from this angle, but one of these trailing arms is bent differently than the other. Now, one of the advantages of pulling off of this thing to do some other things is it gives you time to think about it. You know, if I was in the business of just repairing trucks, I would say, okay, you got a bent arm, let's just get another arm, or get two more arms, two brand new arms, and just replace them. I don't know whether I can get these arms. I don't know whether one arm is different from the other one. If they were both the same, I could buy one and match it to figure out which one is bent. Is that one, this one sits up higher than that one. So is that one bent in, or is this one bent up? Did I say that right? Yeah. Is that one bent in, or this one bent up? I don't know. But if I bought one arm, if they were the same, I bought one arm, I could compare that new arm to these two and figure out which one's bent to be replaced. But that's kind of things that I've got to find out, and it takes time to research. So pulling off of this is kind of a benefit to me because it will give me some time to do some research on it. This thing is a go and will be done. Yeah, so I have just pulled off of the haul truck for a while to do these other projects and make some hauls. Again, this isn't my full-time thing. I do the hauls. There's some personal things that are going on in my life that I take away from my time in the shop. Not only the hauling, but my wife is sick, and it seems like more and more time is being devoted to that issue, taking time away from me being able to do these projects. There is a guy on YouTube. It's called J.C. Smith Projects, and he commented about that arm because when I had left off on the haul truck build, I had mentioned one of my thoughts was just leaving that arm like that, and taking the airbags and adjusting the suspension height because of the bent arm with the bracketry for the airbags. I don't, and again, this is what the benefit of pulling off and doing other things. It gives you time to think. That's not a good idea, not a good option. What my option is, and again, this stuff came from a salvage yard. So I know that the air suspension system came off of an International. I just don't know what year or what model International it came off of. So probably this suspension system was used on more than one truck, no doubt. But finding out which one I've got and how to match it could be an issue, or could be a long process. You never know. So anyways, the haul truck's not dead. It's viable, and every day, my life is a learning experience. As I work on the International, it shows me things that how the International was built to maybe incorporate some things that I like about it into this, some things that I think would benefit this into this. So everything is like a learning experience to me. But anyways, that's going to do it for this shop update. I'll bring you back, and as we get involved, I'll probably the next thing that's going to be is getting the transmission fixed in the Ram.